Okay, so I've been recording for the past minute and 24 seconds. That's convenient. How did that happen? I didn't hit record. OBS is weird. Okay, here we go. Seriously, that's happened to me like 4 times. I've opened up my computer to start editing, and I'll be at my apartment, and my webcam is staring at me, and I might or might not have clothes on. As far as no shirt goes, and suddenly my OBS is recording. And yes, this is streaming. That was a good way to start this. Hey guys, I don't know why I have to clap. The clap is always important, but we've been talking about it for like 8 or 9 months now, give or take, basically. But the time has come now that we've gotten done massacring people in the Pathfinder playtest. We are going to slide on back to Pathfinder First Edition for a little while, as this group is going to run, if you can't tell by the image in the back behind these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awesome looking characters. We're playing Carrion Crown. I'm super stoked for it because Carrion Crown looks like a lot of fun. It speaks to my days as a 14-year-old blasting Cradle of Filth at the top of my volume of everything forever. And now it's basically like it's kind of come full circle for my role-playing, because if you don't know, Carrion Crown is the one where we're fighting lots of spooky things that go bump in the night. Well, I guess basically, like, you know a lot of these players because they've been with us for, like a year and change. But to have everybody like introduce themselves and what they'll be playing, I'm going to start as you see them left to right down at the bottom here, starting with, mirrors are easy. I'll point down at Chewie is first. Chewie, or I guess maybe I should start calling you Matthew. I probably won't. Sorry, man. You know who you are.
Yeah, I can go by Chewie if you want still. I'm fine with that.
Deal. You know who you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm not bringing back Chewie for this. I'm bringing something new.
As we can see.
I am Edgar Xavier. Whose Edgar comes from Edgar Allan Poe, which some of my character ideas is based around that. And he is a Dhampir vampire hunter. The class, not the Inquisitor archetype, the vampire hunter class.
Which is a class you basically never see anywhere. The first time I heard about it, I thought it was just like some weird homebrew or something, but it's true first party Pathfinder as it appears in, I forget the name of I think the book is called like Vampire Hunter D or something like that.
Yes, it's an anime too.
No.
Nice. Yeah. That's what it's based around, and I took some feats that were based around that anime, like Consonant's Carbuncle. So I have literally a talking parasite hand inside my hand, or it's a mouth. And my character is about using the power of the undead, mixed with some holy power. Worships Ragathiel.
That is pronounced Ragathiel.
Oh, Ragathiel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ragathiel. And he wants to find his father, since his father is probably the person who knows the most about his mother. His actual blood mother, who died during childbirth.
Makes sense. And you were, if I remember right, you're playing a Nosferatu Dhampir. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the pretty one so much as the like old before your time, everything hurts, hands looking like this as they're carrying swords around.
Yeah, which the Blood of the Night or Blood of the Moon book, the Pathfinder Vampire book.
No, it's Blood of the Night. Blood of the Moon is the Skinwalker variants.
Okay, Blood of the Night. It said that how one is created is unspeakable. That's all it really said.
Yeah, there's a lot of real bad things are involved with Nosferatu. So that's like the real bad vampire.
But he doesn't know that, so he's like, okay, I'll find him. He knows. Okay, how do I contact him? Oh, I know. I don't have a phone for him, so I'll kill a bunch of undead stuff until I get his attention.
That's fair. I definitely had a Dhampir in my back pocket for a while that I was going to play basically the same way. And again, it's like the classes, I think it's a D10 hit dice full bab, basically just like Ranger meets kind of synthesis. And it's like, it's going to be a really sweet playtest for it because, I guess I shouldn't say playtest, the class is real. It's going to be a really sweet environment for the class to be in, given that like Carrion Crown is so undead rich.
if we were not in this AP, I would be a completely different class.
Yeah, because you'd have to be, right? Because you won't be fighting the thing your class is born and bred to go punch forever. But fair enough. Okay, so we've got that one. And then I'm going to just tick over a little to the next one is this blue guy, the blue man group over there standing next to him, which is the thing about tiefling art is when you're playing very specific tieflings, it can be hard to find art for very specific tieflings. But next is Anthony. Anthony, who are you? What are you? Tell us about you.
Molden, no last name. He is a Oni spawn tiefling. He's blue skinned, has a one horn out of the middle center of his head, so he's a unicorn tiefling. To search online for character art.
Yeah.
He is class-wise. He's an Inquisitor with the Monster Tactician abilities. So he does a lot of summoning. Mine and Chewie's character will get along fairly well because I was raised by the cult of Ragathiel.
Ragathiel. Or was that a joke?
And,
I can't read sarcasm to save my life.
It's fine. So yeah, but my character worships Feronia, the mother of Ragathiel, and my character is very strong in his belief. Has problems. He's socially awkward. I'll say that, and I gonna go around with bastard sword and summons
and break my action economy left and right is what it's gonna do.
We both got bastard swords.
There's a lot of bastard swords in the party. Yeah, a lot of not crit fishing marshals. Which, well, I mean, a bastard sword's 19 to 20. It's not the worst thing in the whole world. It's not like you're coming in with a sword and board or something. But that's for later. I will say that, like, I'm not surprised to see the guy who requested the coverage of Feronia on Wednesday afternoon worship to come full circle and play a worshiper of Feronia. I think it's super sweet, and I definitely have very recently kind of fallen in love with the Inquisitor class because, like I was telling these guys, I'm playing one in real life in a party with a necromancer and undead. Like, the zombies and skeletons are just kind of sad when there's 20 of them and they're all dying, but when they all had my teamwork feats for a couple rounds, that's real good. And I believe the Monster Tactician does the same thing. You just summon a thing and that thing has your teamwork feats and off goes the action economy.
that happens at level 5 is when my summons get teamwork feats.
That makes sense. Okay, so it won't be from jump. But good enough. Okay, fair enough. So we've got... The party also has kind of a lot of like half humans, which I think is sweet, but one of them doesn't really fit in as much. So I'm going to just continue. The mirrors are hard. Taking over, there's the man in the orange hat, not Haster. His cousin, we'll say. The one who 48 hours ago was the farthest away from the setting of Ustalav before we started carrying crown. And then suddenly somebody came in and jumped in. But next up is one of our very newest high tier patrons who's come and joined Robin for this game. John, what you got? Who you playing? What you doing?
I am playing a Ifrit sorcerer by the name of Zamu Aset. He is a cross-blooded Ifriti and solar sorcerer who focuses on harnessing his inner flame when it comes to fighting enemies. He went through training with the Temple for Pharasma in order to strike down undead as much as he can and wherever he can.
And this coming from the man who showed up in our Doomsday Dawn playing a barbarian, walked up to a Hundun, threw its hood off with no fear at all on this man, basically, is what I have seen and what I have learned so far watching these things unfold. We probably also will see a little bit of, like, not Ustalav over the course of the game, because I definitely want to make Carrion Crown be, like, basically our Carrion Crown, for lack of a better way to say it, because there's a lot of us, and it's kind of... I don't necessarily want to play the same game that you guys have seen on YouTube or on Twitch or wherever you're watching this or listening to this right now over and over again. So we probably will go to Carrion for a while. And I'm definitely like, there was a war priest that was for a little bit, and I was liking the odds of the party when there was a war priest, but suddenly the switch to not one but two sorcerers kind of, maybe we'll all just wipe and switch to a different AP. We'll see. In any case, it should be fun to watch things get set on fire and burn, and I will continue to mirrors are still hard. I've been YouTubing for like a year and a half. I don't know how a mirror works. This is dumb. Next is the man standing in the back with the cool hair and the dark skin. It's Robin.
Yeah, I will be playing as Gale Dunkelschatten. He's fetchling or Kayal, what he prefers. He's an Umbral sorcerer. Umbral is an offshoot of the Shadow bloodline. It's pretty much the same with like slight differences, which stems from the plane of Shadow, which is also pretty much like his home plane. His story is a bit of a tragic one, with his family getting stuck in some grand schemes of greater powers, which he has pretty much no idea of what happened, and he currently lost his family and is on the run, and some of his character goals are pretty much like finding out what happened and maybe getting lucky and finding his lost parents.
That's fair. I've been in a party with a fetchling once, but I'm not sure why the person didn't play a fetchling to like, oh, I'm a fetchling, look how cool this is. So much as just like I guess because the drow mini kind of looked like one, I suppose is what it was. But we can write some parents into an AP. That is definitely a thing. And also it gives us a one-way ticket to like go to the Plane of Shadow for a little while, which I haven't done.
And potentially face a
Shadow Dragon. Yeah, that's. I don't.
Yeah,
I
did write him into the story because he's like one of the major characters of one of the countries around.
No, the Shadow Dragon is fair enough. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one of the major players, pretty much. It's if you read up on him, it's actually like one famous dragon, but if you look into it, it's actually many dragons which claim the name over and over.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. We're gonna pull some Shika nonsense, and we will be leaving.
So you can pretty much do a lot of like decide on which age category the dragon is, because he could be like an ancient dragon, but he could also be like anything in between. So you can throw in him whenever you feel like it. That was pretty much my idea.
Fair enough.
I was just reading all this stuff, and that character stood out to me, so I was like, oh, I can probably involve that in my background story.
Makes sense. I could also see us like, sometimes we'll fight a baby dragon, sometimes we'll fight a big dragon, and it just kind of changes a bunch forever.
Yeah. And for the Shadow Plane, pretty much because I was like, maybe we go there, I left the other part of the big player a mystery, so that you can, in that case, do whatever you want.
Deal.
So there's one fixed and one who's like a mystery character.
Fair enough. I can definitely play with that, and certainly will. I'm kind of surprised we don't go to the Plane of Shadow and Carrion Crown, given how like super evil it is. But I guess the Shadow Plane isn't necessarily like an evil place so much as just like, stay away from Zonkuthon and you'll be just fine. And you guys would be probably pretty fine in the Shadow Plane too, because as I look down, I see a Damphir, which has dark vision, a Tiefling, which has dark vision, an Ifrit, which I think has dark vision. If they don't, it's a solar bloodline Ifrit, so it's light, easy peasy. The fetchling certainly has dark vision, but there's one person in the party, and there always is, like that one, just, sorry guys, I only have low light vision, and it's somebody who I'd always kind of remained hopeful that like some of my old friends would like come back in my life to roll dice with me and stuff, but people have schedules, people have work, people move, and then craziness happens and you run away from your friends. As like you guys have seen all of the IOPC craziness, and I'm very glad to have all those guys back in my life. But as you guys also know, if you were watching the end of our Doomsday Dawn, we had Ellie with us, but Ellie has basically left to go be Brock from Pokemon, I guess is the best way to describe it, which I think is frankly like the most honorable reason to quit a Pathfinder game ever. And I kind of resolved to like, we can be a 5-man party, it'll be fine. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. And then here out of the blue, as I'm playing Rune Lords, I look down at my phone because I'm a bad player, I suppose, and I see I have a message from my friend Emmy. And my friend Emmy says, hey, do we have anything open on the weekends? I only can play on the weekends. That was your Friday night. And so be it. There I was, Emmy. I'm very pleased to have you back into my life again. I guess minor spoiler, I'm kind of surprised you aren't playing a sorcerer, given that I've seen 3 characters in your entire career.
Yeah, and I'm not adopted this time. So there we go.
Not adopted and not a sorcerer. It's literally a kitsune sorcerer, a human sorcerer, a half-elf sorcerer. It's all I've seen. But not this time. Close enough.
All right. This time I am playing a catfolk with all black fur, very fitting for the theme, I suppose. Her name is Asiri Juliana. However, most people in Ustalav just know her as Lady Luck. So she is from all the way in a hidden city called Muraseth, which is like so south in Garund that you can't even find like maps of it online. It's that bad. Let's see. Probably the most interesting thing about her in this situation is that she has been living in Ravengrove for a while, and people have taken to a sort of custom of, they sort of watch which direction she's walking, whether it's left to right or right to left, anytime she crosses paths with them. And if she's about to cross right to left, they turn around and walk backwards so that she crosses left to right instead. That way they get good luck instead of bad luck. So, should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun to have a serendipity shaman show up.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. Yep, serendipity life shaman.
And that's kind of terrifying for me because like I get a lot of min-maxing for fun and profit requests. We have there's a Path of War video coming out tomorrow, which is the thing that people do sometimes. That's moderately very good, but also like in the non-patron requests, eventually we will talk about the witch. The witch and the shaman have a lot in common, and both of the thing they have in common is the class is what I consider to be a tier 0 build. If you take the right like fortune plus misfortune plus, in the case of the shaman, chant or cackle for a witch, and suddenly all the marshals in our party have advantage on all the rolls for like the whole combat. Well, not all the rolls, 1 roll per round for the whole combat. So Vital Strike, I guess. Meanwhile, everybody on the other side is asleep forever because they have a scaling sleep spell and are rolling with disadvantage forever. And it's probably the fastest, easiest core Paizo way to take a game and break it in half. So this is, again, it's the fair warning to an old friend of mine that witches get stitches at my table. Obviously, the wolves won't know. Like, oh, it's gonna misfortune us. Go attack. That won't happen. But if it's smart enough to recognize magic, it's smart enough to realize what you're doing. And on that note, this is, I guess, not the worst time to further out that we are doing a variation on what we're doing for Wrath of the Righteous for the tiered point buy in a Paizo AP. It is a variation because for people who've played Carrion Crown in the past, you know that Carrion Crown's pacing is like lightning, basically. Like the thing happens and you're going to do that thing forever. There's not a lot of time to stop and spend 6 months to break out someone's belt to physical perfection. So some of the classes that normally in my tiered point buy rolls are 20 points in a Paizo AP, because I feel like some classes, looking at the monks, basically need more than 15 points to thrive. In a game where they can have access to their items, they become one of the strongest classes in the game because like suddenly you have the highest AC, you have a higher AC than the dude in the plate mail by dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. So what we're looking at, I guess, like to point it in very meta terms, the one down there, the Vampire Hunter's on 25 because it's just a big scary marshal, or weak. I guess I shouldn't say that. You're not weak. You're not a full caster. The Inquisitor, who just left our Discord call, also will be using Discord for this because not everybody uses their webcam. You will see me. You will hear them. Our Inquisitor's on 20. The 3 full casters will be coming into the game on a 15-point buy, and our other thing, who's over here, who I haven't said the class of yet because that would ruin it for them, will be on a 25. Whereas normally it's on a 20 for the games where you can stop and give them all the charisma they ever needed. And it's Dan. Dan, what you playing? How you doing?
I'm playing Valerian, son of Balus, an Aasimar Paladin of Sarenrae.
And that one will be on 25 because that's another one of the classes that needs its con and its strength to function. Forever needs its charisma to do the things it does. 15 is not enough.
Yeah, definitely not enough.
Tell us about you. We've heard about all the other characters moving
in. Grew up in a very small settlement of Aasimars. That's what he's used to. He's used to everyone worshiping angels, so Sarenrae was the logical choice. And he's on a quest in Ustalav to basically help rid the land of evils and ease the suffering of the people there, because he's trying to emulate all the traits of his angelic ancestors.
That's definitely the place to do it. It is a I think I've seen one thing in my forward reading of Carrion Crown that isn't just like objectively like, oh no, that's a rat, that is not evil, but like a thing you will have to deal with. It's like definitely not an evil creature, but everything else is. So target rich environment is definitely the name of the game for this one. And yeah, we will be streaming it on Friday nights, 7 to 10 on Twitch, and then immediately after it will get shot over to the YouTubes. And I think I've been kind of kicking it back and forth whether or not I would join the podcast world, but I think Carrion Crown will be the one that I do first, because I wanted to do just one game at a time instead of like 25 million games uploaded now to Podbean. But I think we might do the same thing there. Or rather, not the same thing, but upload this one. Don't quote me on it, because I've said that several times and then I didn't. But I think this might be the one that we do it with. And yeah, that's basically... I think everything, like we did our session 0, like the true session 0, where we'd like talk about like real stuff, not on camera. So we've spent the past like hour talking about our builds and things and how stuff works. I guess one thing I did forget to bring up is you guys obviously, of course, will have hero points because RNG is mean and I don't want the party to wipe for like bad luck's sake. But you have a shaman.
Oh,
so
hero points or hero points?
both. Hero points
Ooh.
exist. Also the hero deck exists. I forgot about that. Thank you, Emmy. Because the hero deck is a thing. I'm not sure how I'm going to introduce it, but it's in the back of the Carrion Crown books. So we used to, back home when we had home campaigns, we used a thing called the Deck of Many Things in every campaign. And no, that's not happening. Don't stop asking for your 4th level fighters. You can't have them. But we definitely will bring in the hero deck. But the hero points are, you'll have one at start. We'll do as I do in all my games, we'll bounce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the in-character reflection for the hero point. Now that these guys aren't rotating characters every couple of weeks, now we can actually get to know people. So in return for that bit of roleplay, you get a hero point. You can never have more than one. It refreshes its session. They're basically just there to, if the RNG really wants you to eat it, you have the ability to be like, or to like cheat death.
Or if witches are supposed to get stitches, I guess.
Yes, when I target you too much with things that know what you are, you have that one, like, nope, I'm lying dead on the ground, they missed. But that's good enough for me, because that means you probably already misfortune stuff, but maybe then I have a chance to, like, live past it. The class is mean. It's a little mysterious thing, and Emmy knows that too, because when we played through the earlier Rise of the Rune Lords at the Interplanar Crossroads, she's on a sorcerer, I'm on a hunter, and there's a witch on my hunter's cat's back for a lot of the time. And yeah, don't ever got to worry about rolling dice here. Nuh-uh. Because we'll always roll what we need. We also will be doing... Oh god, I can't think what they're called. We also will be doing prologues in this game for like a little bit of writing our characters into Carrion Ground's narrative directly. Instead of just, here's a bunch of people, something happened, and you all have to be in Ravengrow. Haha. We're gonna go a little farther with that. I guess like one thing I might say that I didn't say off camera in the session 0 is some people's backstories have been modified. Nothing has been changed like dynamically. Not like suddenly that our Pharasman actually worships Urgathoa or something, but like to point things in a little bit of a different direction, I've taken a couple of details and moved them around, but like, well, it's nothing bad again, and we'll see them on the channel and on Twitch, starting with, who goes first? I don't know. I think I'm gonna do them in twos again on Twitch, and we'll go Zamu and Edgar first, starting next Friday. Then we'll do Molden and Siri, and then Robin, say it one more time. Name your character.
It's Geldern Dunkelschatten.
Geldern, that's it. Geldern and our paladin for the last bit. But yeah, I guess that's all I could really think that like needs to be discussed session 0 wise. I see that Anthony has left us. Goodbye.
A very German name.
Yeah. What does it mean in German?
Well, the first one is pretty much a normal name, but it's based on the word for money, which I thought was funny because it's pretty much all the background is about being a trader and stuff like that. And the last name is German for dark shadow.
Fair enough. Okay. That's definitely
Ooh.
Money, dark shadow. Deal. If that's a lesson about capitalism, I've never heard one in my whole life, I suppose. But yeah, I guess if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns now that they want to bring up, or like anything they want to bring up about their characters, now would be the time.
Yeah, one thing is I kind of don't want to do it on purpose, but apparently one of the things you guys probably know that as sorcerers, bloodline do affect your character in some ways. And my bloodline actually makes my character often sullen, withdrawn, and he likes sulking at the edges, liking to cultivate an air of mystery and majesty around him. It's like, oh god, whoever wrote that, why is it so damn edgy?
Edgelord, man.
I mean, you're playing the Shadow Sorcerer, you know what's up.
Yeah, it's like
Edgy.
But I was like, okay, Shadow Bloodline is already edgy enough, but no, the way how it affects your character makes him edgy.
You have to play him like a high schooler.
Or playing like the character you played in high school.
No
I do
one
think
understands me.
it's kind of like, well, they probably don't. My man's is from a different plane of existence.
That's true. Yeah, they probably don't.
I also find
He
it
has
really
an
funny.
excuse.
I find it really funny. We have a oh god, I lost my train of thought. A Shadow Sorcerer and a Daylight Sorcerer in the same party, and I'm just not realizing that. Got both ends of the section covered.
He's all about skulking
no-
in the shadows, and I'm like, have some burning sun.
There's no shadow without light.
And that's all the character dialogue.
One makes the light level higher, one makes it lower, one tries to make it higher again.
Yeah,
No,
just
this
keep
is an area
fighting
of
over.
bright light.
Don't you dare! I need my shadows.
So does the
Increases
He's
my
like the
DCs
right
by
corner
like
and the
at
dark
least
corner.
2. I tell you, I will actually be using light spells which then shed darkness, which is really fun.
Wow.
You can
Oh
do
yeah.
stuff like that. Stuff like that is really fun. Where you can like modify spells, and then suddenly the light spell is like shedding darkness, things like that. It's
A
really
gloom
funny.
stick. That was the name of the item. I'm sorry. I just now remember it. The reverse sun rod is called a gloom stick. Okay. I'm caught up.
A
on
glue
this.
stick?
Gloom stick. Not
Oh.
here's some glue. Darkness. Whee! It's not like that. That's how that works. Jeez, that'd be rough.
Oh man, I'm so looking forward to getting permanency. Then I can permanently stand in dim light.
Permanent deeper
I
darkness.
I will be extra edgy by permanently staying in dim light. So I look extra mysterious.
There's just a block of shadow following the party in the back. Like, what is that? That's the skeleton. Don't worry about him. In the back, just covered in shadow and sadness.
Just imagine normal people is like, did it just get darker in this room?
No, it's just me. Okay, fair enough. Anybody else got anything they would add? Questions, comments?
No. Not really.
One small thing.
What's up?
It's kind of funny because, you know, your games are always, you got the min-maxing for fun and profit going, but I wasn't even thinking about that when I picked my build. I just thought it'd be fitting for the setting to have the sort of black cat bad luck thing going on.
That makes sense. And like it truly does. It fits as well as like the son of a vampire or the angel blooded come to the land of sadness to fix it. So I guess what I will say is if you do not take the chant hex, I will not like seek you out, because I think that's what makes the witch and the shaman so good, is not the fact that you can assign advantage or disadvantage to a given die roll. It's the fact that for a move action or with some magic items, a swift action, keep it up indefinitely for a whole combat. So like if you guys aren't trying to optimize, I definitely like not only as an AP where there are 6 people plus a summoner, a safe place to play whatever you want without fear of dying. But like if you're not trying to play the super optimized shaman, obviously not everyone will come after you. I had also, at one point, I had thought about just outright banning chant/cackle in my games because that's what I think does it. But I think it's better to just kind of let it be the player's decision. So playing for flavor is definitely... what does a serendipity shaman do, I guess, before I commit to killing you? What is that? How's it... Like, what makes it different from a shaman?
Plays with luck.
Oh, yeah, exactly, the RNG. Okay.
So, like, one example is Tweak the Odds, where as an immediate action, I can increase somebody's die roll by 1, and it increases every so many levels.
Okay. So that's not as bad as just, like, flat advantage. But I think you get the luck domain, too. Pretty sure. But that's only a 1 a day, which is much more fair and balanced. Oh no.
What?
Oh, never mind. I thought I cut out. Here I am just saying oh no for no reason. It got really quiet and I was like, oh, did my internet die? Oh no. I'll leave that oh no in. You guys can see the struggle of the YouTuber. Okay, fair enough.
And I get cleric luck domain spells. That's fun.
They're more than fun. They're good. There's actually, I think there's a luck spell on the cleric list that's literally just for catfolk. I think it's called like Bit of Luck or something like that, or something 9 lives.
Oh no, that's not a spell. That's something that you get for being a luck cleric. I do not get that.
Fair enough. Okay, that makes sense.
I only get the like spells that they get when they level. I don't get access to the whole spell list.
Okay, makes sense to me. But the shaman spell list gets a lot of... It kind of plays like the druid a little. Like I think the Umbral Sorcerer gets a shadow variant of Entangle, so we have 2 Entangles from jump, basically, if we wanted to. Which, as people who know Carrion Crown know, that might not be the worst thing to deal with at part 1. But again, we'll see. I don't want to just like vomit spoilers at everybody. But yeah, unless anybody has anything else, I'd say that's probably the best place to... I feel bad that this video is going to be much shorter than the Wrath one, but we did most of like the important discussion off camera. But it is what it is. We will see you guys starting next Friday for Zamu and Edgar's prologues, and in the next couple weeks we'll be rolling out more of that sweet official Paizo content. And if you want to watch it, be sure to like and subscribe wherever it is you happen to be watching so you don't miss out. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.